Hello everyone on YouTube, and welcome back to another video, and we're going to be reviewing another Linux distribution. Now this Linux distribution we are going to be reviewing is called Slint, and this distribution is based on Slackware. Now, Slackware is designed mainly for advanced Linux users, so it's going to be text based, but I've installed Slint once. But I've got the opportunity to install it again in another virtual machine. Now, before you go ahead and install Slint on your main system, there is one thing you're going to want to do, and that's to turn Secure Boot off. But if you're installing this on a virtual machine, then you don't need to do this. So I'm going to show you how to install Slint, aka Slackware. Because VirtualBox doesn't have a setting for Slackware, unfortunately. Yes, I know, not good at all. So even though the distribution is going to be called Slint, I recommend you name the virtual machine after the distro that Slint is based on. In this case, Slackware. Now this is going to be a bit like the Debian and the Arch installation videos I've done, because we're going to be using a speak-up. But this distribution is basically Slackware modified from the ground up to include eSpeakUp, which the current Slackware ISO doesn't. But this is a modified version of Slackware that allows it to. And I've given the distribution a try. It's surprisingly good. It isn't lazily put together like, say, Accessible Coconut. It's actually been given a lot of attention, has Slint, because it actually has software that people are going to use, like VLC Media Player. It doesn't come with ridiculous software that nobody's going to use. I mean, you're not going to want... not everyone likes snaps. I mean, come on. And who needs the Cocoa Patcher when no one really uses it? Slint Linux is pretty good, but then again, Slint is designed for advanced users, as is Slackware. But it does provide you with an auto installation, so I'm going to show you how that works. So let's start creating that virtual machine. First of all, I need to close Chrome down.
VirtualBox C.
And we'll start getting on with the creation of the virtual machine. So here we go. I'm going to call it Slackware Linux.
Toolbar. Down combo box C. Use type. Down combo box Linux version. Down combo box Linux 2.63x4x 64-bit. Other Linux 64-bit.
I'm going to use other Linux 64-bit.
Expert mode extender slider 500 4096.
Giving it 4 gigs of RAM.
Spin button for next enter. Create a virtual hard disk. Now Alt C radio button.
Create a virtual disk. Button. Create
virtual expert type. Virtual
VHD.
Expert next dynamically allocate next enter button.
Dynamically allocated.
C mute button slider 25. Edit knob 72.
I'm going to give it 72 gig.
Create enter button. Oracle VM.
And here we go. Now the next thing I'm going to do is change my processor.
Slackware Linux set.
So we've got a Slackware VM setup already.
Allows to navigate motherboard Alt M tab control. Processor Alt P tab. Slider 1 2.
I'm gonna give it 2 cores.
Allows the nav user in storage.
And
split button type. Use list all storage controllers list. Controller ID list. Slackware Linux VHD.
There's our VHD.
Menu. Choose a disk file.
Choose a disk file.
Please choose the date selected. Date today. The date group in selected collapse.
Oh great, why is it? This is why I don't like the newer versions of Windows.
Music 4 of 7 VirtualBox C live CD DVD optical drive Alt D drop down button sub menu QT choose Oracle VM vert button Slackware Linux virtual machine.
Now I have to do all this again, don't I?
With basic allows the NAS user storage. Use a list all OK at split list control empty. Menu choose a disk file. Please choose a virtual the date group in collapse.
Can you just let me expand this?
The date group in selected collapse.
There we go.
14.2.1.
This is one reason I don't like Windows 11, and I don't recommend anyone even upgrade.
VirtualBox C live CD image 4.03 G.
I mean, you don't really need cutting edge software anyway, because it's too unstable.
C users list OK enter button.
But luckily, Slackware is not one of those distributions like Arch Linux where it gives you bleeding edge software. it tests these software extensively. Anyway, we've got our Slackware ISO in our DVD drive, so I'm going to go press enter on that.
Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager window, split button, list.
And now we're ready to actually boot into our Slackware installation media.
Menu set logo extra group start normal start alt end. Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager window, split button, list. Slackware Linux.
Reminder: the Novo
VM
Chromebook.
VirtualBox. Slackware Linux starting Oracle VM VirtualBox.
Notification
Slackware
center.
Linux running Oracle
Now,
VM
checking.
VirtualBox.
Actions available. You are currently on a group. To remind me tomorrow. Remind me in the morning. Remind me in an hour. Complete and close. Press Control, Option, Command, Space.
Never buy a Mac. Anyway, now the Slackware is booting up. Now I believe we can just press enter when it asks.
9 o'clock. Now. Current time. 9 o'clock. To open the notifications menu, press Control, Option, N.
This installer has speech and braille device support in order to be accessible to visually impaired users. To have speech turned on.
Oracle V virtual button. Slackware Linux virtual machine.
Alright, that doesn't sound good.
Button close the search widget. Slackware Linux virtual machine. Men set clone move extra move group show pause reset close alt C save state alt S act D shut save act power off alt Oracle VM VirtualBox map. Slackware basic alt C tab control.
That just went way too high.
Allows the nav cancel OK version. Down combo box other Linux 32 Xandros Xanadu Turbo Linux Fell list Linux 2.2. OK version. Down combo box Linux 2.4 30 Linux 2.4 Linux 2.63 x4 Linux 2.63 Arch Linux 2.63 x4x 64-bit. OK enter. Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager window. Oracle VM Men set one extra group start normal stop Oracle.
Okay, let's try to start that up again.
Window split button. Slackware Linux powered off Oracle VM VirtualBox. Slackware Linux starting Oracle VM VirtualBox. Slackware Linux running Oracle VM VirtualBox.
Because I didn't like that voice at all. That's the problem with VirtualBox. Now I believe we'll just be able to press enter once it asks. If this doesn't work again, I'm just going to give it one core.
This installer has speech and braille device support in order to be accessible to visual.
Oracle VirtualBox C.
Again.
Button. Slackware Linux.
What's with the crackly voice?
Menu set clone move extra group show pause reset close alt C save act power off alt Oracle VM.
Right, I want to...
Slack basic allows to navigate through VM set series motherboard alt M slider 4096 motherboard alt processor alt P slider 2 1 Processor left cancel OK and Oracle.
Okay, let's give it 2.
Menu set one extra group start normal start Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager window split button. Slackware Linux powered off Oracle VM VirtualBox. Slackware Linux starting Oracle VM VirtualBox. Slackware Linux running Oracle VM VirtualBox.
If you're installing this on a regular system, yours won't be that high pitched. But I'm hoping that giving this one core has actually fixed it. We are, after all, running Slackware Linux, so...
This installer has speech and braille device support in order to be accessible to visually impaired users. To have speech turned on during installation, type S, then press enter. Else, just press enter.
Okay, to have speech turned on, tap S, then press enter. Okay, that didn't work.
Virtual button. Slackware. Men seklo ekran. Proof show auxiliary seklo alt C. Save state active. Save power active. Save state power off. Oracle VM.
Let's try booting that thing up again.
Ekran. Proof start normal start alt N. Oracle VM Virtual Box Manager Windows. Split button. Slackware Linux powered off Oracle VM Virtual Box. Slackware Linux starting Oracle VM Virtual Box. Slackware Linux running Oracle VM Virtual Box.
I'm going to try just pressing enter next time. Maybe that'll work. It's not good that I have to use only one core. But VirtualBox is kind
This
of...
installer has speech and braille device support.
Nope. Okay, I'm going to pause until I can get this working.
Pause recording.
Italian,
Pause
Norwegian,
recording.
Polish,
Button.
Portuguese, Brazil, Portuguese, Portugal,
Press
Russian,
search
Spanish,
space to
Latin
activate.
America, Swedish, Turkish, Dutch, English, USA.
Okay, now we can actually choose what language we want to have for our Slackware installation. Now that I've sorted this out, so I'm going to go click English and press enter.
Space option to load support for another keyboard. Space if you are not using a keyboard map, you may load another one now to select a different keyboard map. Please enter 1 now to continue using the keyboard map. Just hit enter space, enter 1 to select a keyboard map.
I'm just going to go press enter.
Space, welcome to the Slint installer. Version 14.2.1 space, available commands do not type the quotes, space, not to know the features and usage of the installer. Auto, to start a semi-automatic, guided installation. Space, setup, to start a manual installation. Space, we recommend that you type doc first to prepare a manual installation, or if you want to encrypt the drive where Slint will be installed, or if you need to reduce the size of a partition to make room for Slint alongside another system. When you finish reading, this menu will be displayed again. Root at Slint:/.
Okay, so now we're in a terminal, so now we can actually do what we want to do. So if you're new, it's recommended you read the documentation. I'm going to go ahead and attempt an auto install.
AUTO.
And hopefully this works.
Space, you have chosen the guided installation mode. In this mode, the installer proposes the available installation options and let you choose what you prefer through question/answer dialogues. Then it installs and configures Slint. After installation, you may customize the system through simple commands listed in the included documentation. Space, press enter to start.
Press enter to start.
Space, Slint can be installed on this drive /net/SDA box hard disk 72G. This drive seems currently unused. Space, Slint will be installed on this drive /net/SDA box hard disk size 72G. Space, do you want to install Slint on it? Type yes or no.
Yes, we want to install it. So tap in yes.
Space, the drive /net/SDA can be encrypted to prevent data steal in case of loss or theft of the machine or the drive itself. Then you will type a so-called passphrase to unlock the drive to boot Slint. We will record this passphrase. Do you want to encrypt /net/SDA? Type yes, no, or H for help.
I want to tap no because this is a virtual machine.
N.
And I don't like using encryption.
Space, you can dedicate all the available space 71G to Slint root partition or keep part of it for another usage. The size of the Slint root partition should be between 26G and 71G. Size of the Slint root partition H for help.
I'm going to go use the entire one, so I'm going to go 71.
71. Space, do you want to install the KDE series of packages? Type yes, no, or H for help.
Nope, I don't use KDE.
N.
KDE's bloat.
Space, do you want to install the KDE series of packages? Type yes, no, or H for help.
As you can see, the installer is pretty good. I'm going to type in no because I don't like KDE Plasma.
Space, we are ready to do what you requested. Install Slint on /net/SDA88B box hard disk size 72G. This drive will be dedicated to Slint. The Slint system partition will have a size of 71G. The KDE packages won't be installed. If you confirm these settings /net/SDA will be used as indicated above, else you will go back to the menu. To confirm these settings type yes, else type no.
I'm going to type in yes, and I'll begin the installation.
Yes. Space, we prepare /net/SDA to install Slint. Warning. Partition table header claims that the size of partition table entries is 0 bytes, but this program supports only 128 byte entries, adjusting accordingly, but partition table may be garbage. Warning. Partition table header claims that the size of partition table entries is 0 bytes, but this program supports only 128 byte entries, adjusting accordingly, but partition table may be garbage. Installing the first software packages. The user root has all rights on the system, including to wipe it. This status should be accessed only with a good password. Please type the password for root.
Okay, so let's type our root password. This is for our root account.
Please type again the password for root to check.
And use the same password again.
We will now set up an account for a regular user. Other user accounts can be set up after installation. We need to know under which name this user will log in to access Slint. Login name of the first registered user.
So this is the user creation, so I'm going to type in my name here.
JORDAN.
This is the second time I've actually installed this.
Please type the password for Jordan.
Type in my password here.
Please type again the password for Jordan to check.
Type it in again.
Blind users can run Slint with a Braille device or a screen reader. Will you use a Braille device? Please answer yes or no.
Nope. I don't use a Braille display. They cost too much money. And most cheap ones are terrible.
Do you want to start Slint in a console or in graphical mode? Type C for console or G for graphical or H for help, then press enter.
I want to start in graphical, so that will install a GDM.
G.
I'm going to type in G.
The next dialog, you will choose the language for your Slint system. Press enter to continue. System language configuration. The current locale is NUS. Please select your preferred system language. Arrow doyen not for India DBMB type NZA.U NUS. NSG. NPH NNZ NNG N in English for India. NNG English for Nigeria. NIE. NHK NGB.UTF8 English for Britain.
Yep, I want to use English UK.
Please wait.
So now we've got to wait until it gives us further instructions.
Setting of the time zone. Is Europe/London the current time zone? Type yes or no.
I'm going to type in yes, because that's what I want to use.
YES. Creating a swap file on the Slint system partition.
Creating a swap file on the Slint system partition.
We will now install all packages. This takes about 10 to 40 minutes. Do you want a short description of each package during its installation? Please type yes or no.
You can have this if you want, but I'm going to have this. This will describe what all the packages are and what they do. So I'm going to type in yes.
YES. Preparing packages installation.
So once a few packages have been described and installed, I'm going to pause the video until we can interact with our system and it's restarting. So it's actually preparing everything. So it's going to install the Mate desktop with GDM3 as our default login manager. That's alright with me because, again, GDM3 is very accessible. Now the interesting thing about Slackware is you don't have the GNOME desktop in its repositories. Well, actually, Slackware's repositories don't actually have a package manager to speak of. So it's basically you download them directly with a browser and you install them using the tools Slackware provides. So I think we got to wait for our installation.
Space, hyperlink 21.0.0x8664-1 Slint no available description. P-Cordiolid Beta 41 D46EX8664-2 Slint no available description. Salix update notifier 0.8.0 Notch 2 Slint no available description. Pi3 object 3.40.1 x8664-1 Slint no available description. Space, Reminder mustache 1.1.1 x8664-1 Slint no available description. NAV1D 0.9.2 x8664-1 Slint no available description. Mate control center 1.26.
Here we go, Mate.
x8664-1 Slint no available description. Janssen 2.14 x8664-1 Slint no available description. Speech dispatcher 0.11.0 x8664-1 Slint no available description. Space, bitgit 64D7C9CX8664-2 Slint no available.
New notification from Yandex with voice assistant Alice window.
Why have you just opened Yandex browser?
2 D
Oracle, slackware, Oracle,
Kernel source 5.14.14.1 Slint no available description.
Slackware Linux running Oracle VM VirtualBox.
There we go. I really don't recommend anyone use Yandex browser. It's not the best browser in the world. Google Chrome is. And
Mate applets 1.26.0 x8664-1 Slint no available description. Limpias 1.30.0 x8664-1 Slint no available description. Updare 2.9.3 x8664-1 Slint no available description. Gtest 1.8.0 x8664-2 Slint no available description. Mock 2.5.2 x8664-2 Slint no available description.
okay, I'm going to pause once the installation is completed. So I'll be right back.
21. Pause recording. Pause recording.
Okay, now it's asking if I want to make a rescue USB stick. I'm going to click no because we've installed this on a virtual machine. So I'm going to click no.
N-O. Space, installation and initial configuration of Slint are complete. If you want a preview of the boot menu displayed after rebooting, type now /Slint menu. To leave this simulated boot menu, press C, then type exit. To quit the installer and start your new Slint, remove the installation media, then type reboot or press Ctrl-Alt-Del root at Slint :
I'm going to type in exit.
E-X-I-T logout root at Slint :
And now we will shut the virtual machine down.
W /SH shutdown command not found root at Slint :
There isn't a shutdown, I'll have to manually do it.
Oracle, the Virt button, Slackware, Messek, Move, Extra, Group, Show, Pause, Reset, Close, Alt, Saves, Active, Power Off, Saves, Power Off, Alt, W, Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager.
Now the installation did take a while, as it did describe all the packages. Now I need to...
Oracle VM VirtualBox. Task,
I need to
apps and mobility, set apps and feed.
I need to uninstall that Yandex browser.
60 app list group sort by search app more set share choose where apps but
So I'm gonna do that. But once I get back, we'll be booting into Slackware.
20. Pause. Pause.
I am back, and boy, wasn't it a long one. You know that Yandex application that we got the notification from? Drop malware bytes a big thank you. Yep, it was malware. Yep. It uninstalled Windows Defender. It installed a bunch of other applications. I class pups as malware, even though they're not malware. And I only wanted to install Yandex Disk Cloud Storage. But it went ahead and installed a bunch of other unwanted applications. Malwarebytes removed them and they're in my quarantine, so I'm going to remove them for a bit.
From mail, Windows Defender notifications. Submission received. Your submission has been received. View your submission. The file submitted for malware analysis has been added to the queue. Depending on the prevalence of the file and its potential impact, we will prioritize its analysis appropriately. Keep this Outlook Actions window.
Yep, I've sent the submission to Microsoft as well. so that Microsoft Defender can pick it up immediately and remove it. So that way I can prevent other people from installing this application. Anyway, back to what we were talking about before. We are now going to boot into Slackware now that it's been installed. I'm sorry you've all been waiting, but I've paused the video because I had to try and uninstall Yandex somehow.
OK, split button. Lists all storage can. Lists all OK, enter Oracle.
I've ejected my a DVD drive, my Slackware ISO, so now we can actually boot into Slackware.
But edit and but Slackware Linux menu set home move X room proof start on normal start all 10. Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager Windows split button list Slackware Linux powered off Oracle VM VirtualBox Slackware Linux starting Oracle VM VirtualBox Slackware Linux running Oracle VM VirtualBox.
And we're booting into Slackware for the very first time.
No speed up settings saved for re-speak up, so nothing to restore. Starting up X11 session manager.
Username : text.
And here we are in GDM3, the GNOME Display Manager. So we're going to simply log in with my username.
N. Return.
And type in the password.
Space.
And we're going to log in and set up our screen reader the way we always do in Linux. So this, by default, is configured to use the SVOX Pico TTS voice, which was used on a bunch of older versions of Android, right up until Android Nougat, where it was scrapped. It's no longer in development anymore as far as I know. So I'm going to go into I want to make sure I'm on my desktop.
Desktop. Left control.
Yeah, I don't like that voice. We're going to change to using eSpeak. So, same as usual.
Screen reader preferences dialog. General page tab. Keyboard layout panel tab. Progress bar updates panel. Speak updates checkbox ticked. Tab. Braille updates checkbox not ticked. Tab. Beep updates checkbox not ticked. Space. Ticked.
I want to beep updates.
Braille update. Speak update. Keyboard layout panel. General page tab. Voice page tab. Voice type settings panel. Voice type tab. Speech system : combo box. Speech dispatcher tab. Speech synthesizer : Pico. Default synthesizer Pico. Voice. Flight. Is Pete dash and umbrella. Is Pete dash and
eSpeak NG, I want to use that.
tab. Language : combo box. N-GB.
Yep.
Tab. Person : combo box. Is Pete dash and default voice.
Yep, we want to use the default.
Capitalization stop tab. Rate : tab. Pitch : tab. Volume : tab. Global voice settings tab. Speak multicase string tab. Speak numbers as tab. Help push button tab. Apply push button.
I want to apply that.
Return.
Screen reader settings reloaded.
And here we are using eSpeak. So now we can change the rest of the settings.
Let help push voice page speak multicase rate speech into voice type set pitch : rate : capitalization style : person : language : speech synthesizer speech system : combo box, speech dispatcher, voice type : voice page tab. OK push button tab. Voice page tab. Speech page tab. Enable speech checkbox tab. Verbosity panel tab. Punctuation lets none.
No punctuation.
Selected verbos enable speech page. OK push button tab. Speech page tab. Braille page tab. Echo page tab. Enable key space. Not ticked tab. Enable X space. Ticked tab. Enable echo by word checkbox not ticked. Space. Ticked.
So, guys, what have we learned from today? Well, don't install Yandex Disk. unless they actually release a version without all the bloat and all the malware that's in it.
Tab. Enable echo by sentence checkbox not ticked.
The Mac version is clean, but the Windows version, oh no. It's preloaded with a bunch of stuff that you didn't ask for.
Tab. Help push button. Tab. Apply push button. Tab. Cancel push button. Tab.
And
OK push button.
we're just about done.
Return. Screen reader settings reloaded. Desktop. Icon view.
Here we are on the desktop. So, as we do with any other new Linux install, we check out the pre-installed applications. And let me tell you right now, there are a lot on this distribution. So let's check out what we get in Slint Linux.
Applications, accessories menu, ANSI filter, application finder, character map, dashboard Slint, Enramper archive manager, file manager, Gini, HP device manager, HP scan utility, image viewer, mate calculator, mate font viewer, mate search tool, orange global time, Parsilite, passwords and keys, Plumer, root terminal, SIM, smart common input method, startup, screenshot, take screenshot, terminal emulator, GPA, ANSI filter, accessories collection menu,
Let's see what we've got in the collection.
Gini, mate terminal, mail reader, web browser, Gini, mate terminal, collection education menu,
Education?
LibreOffice 6.4 math, education menu,
Yeah, we're using an old version of LibreOffice. Why doesn't that surprise me?
games menu, Q joypad, ZOS, Xboard, eBoard, Q joypad,
I don't even know if these are actually accessible games or not.
games graphics menu,
See what we've got. Graphics?
diagram editor, document viewer, iOmate image viewer, font forge, GNU image manipulation program,
Yep, we've got GIMP.
Gkit, image viewer, LibreOffice 6.4 draw, Leo's OCR screenshot, mate color selection, Scribus,
Oh wow, we've got Scribus, desktop publishing.
Vunia, XPDF,
Now, Vunia, I believe the only other distro I know that comes with it is Trisquel Linux.
Xsane dot, diagram
And
editor,
we've got Xane, so it's a scanning utility.
graphics menu, internet
See what
menu,
we've got under internet?
Amarki SSH server browser, Amarki VNC server browser, Kaja Dropbox, close mail,
Oh wow, we've got Dropbox and we've got Close Mail,
Firefox,
as well as Firefox.
text chat, mail reader, Mumble, not much Emacs interface,
Mumble.
Pan newsreader, Pigeon internet messenger, Telegram, Thunderbird,
We've got Thunderbird.
Tiger VNC viewer, web browser, ZenMap as root, GFTP,
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of really cool apps
LFTP,
under internet.
Amarki SSH server browser,
Let's check out the sound.
internet office menu,
Oh no, Office.
actual document viewer, FB reader dot, LibreOffice 6.4, LibreOffice 6.4 base,
And we seem to have all of LibreOffice 6.4.
LibreOffice 6.4 mate dictionary, orange calendar, orange global time, actual document viewer,
Let's check out the next one.
office programming menu,
For our programming,
Bluefish editor, CMake dot, data display debugger, Emacs, Blade, icon browser, Bodit, Qt4 assistant, Qt4 designer, Qt4 linguist, Qt5 assistant, Qt5 designer, Qt5 linguist, Qt5 QDBus viewer, disk monitor, Bluefish editor, CMake dot, data display debugger,
now next section.
programming sound video menu as under CD Ripper, Audacious, Audacity,
Wow, we've got Audacity on here.
GTK pipe viewer, ISO master, install multimedia codecs, K3B, mplayer dot,
Oh wow, we've got K3B, which is KDE, but it didn't install all of them. We've got MPV.
Parole media player,
Ho ho, one of my favourite media players from the XFCE suite, Parole Media Player.
port MIDI defaults,
Ooh, MIDI. Nice, they've included MIDI here. Thank you very much, Slint developers. Yep, MIDI. And even better, the pre-installed version, well, we'll see it in a bit.
pulse audio volume control,
Pulse audio.
QTV4L2 test utility, sound, VLC media player,
Here we go, VLC Media Player, but the best part is the VLC is already ready out of the box and is able to play MIDI files, so You don't have to install something like VLC plugin FluidSynth like you do on Debian.
XMMS, MPS YouTube, MPV Media Player, Project Temples Audio Visualization, Zine, Asunder CD Ripper.
So there are some MIDI utilities, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Sound System Tools Menu, APMU, Apache Zero-Conf Browser, Karja, .new, Gparted. Gephi Boot Manager, Host Names.
Oh wow, graphical EFI boot manager. So I wonder if you can install that on Debian. It's basically a GUI version of EFI boot manager. Okay, that's kind of cool. I wonder if that's available on Debian and Ubuntu.
HTOP,
We've got HTOP.
K3B,
K3B's here again.
Keyboard. LX Terminal. Light the MGTK Greeter Log File Viewer. Mate Disk Image Mounter.
So we've also probably got XFCE installed on here as well.
Mate Disk Usage Analyzer. Mate System Monitor. Mate Terminal. Manage Printing. ML Multilingual Terminer. New login. New login in a window. Power Statistics. Sorcery Slack Build Manager. System Clock. System Language. System Profiler and Benchmark. System Services. Upstream. Users and Groups. Xterm. XFCE Terminal.
Yep.
Deconf Editor.
XFCE must be installed on here as well.
System to Accessories Menu. System Menu. Administration G-Slapped Package Manager.
Yep, we've got G-Slapped.
Login Window. Print Settings. G-Slapped Package Manager.
Which is basically a GTK front end for Slaptget, which is Slackware's a third-party package manager for Slackware based on Debian's apt-get technology, which is now antiquated and replaced with apt, as any Debian user knows.
Administration Control Center.
But I quite like the idea. It's pretty cool.
Help. About Mate. Lock screen. Log out. Shut down. Preferences. Administration.
See
Preferences
what's got on
menu.
preferences?
Hardware menu. Bluetooth adapters. Bluetooth manager. Displays. Keyboard. Keyboard short mouse. Power manager. Time and day. Bluetooth manager.
The same what you get in regular Mate session.
Hardware Internet and network. Advanced network. Pro personal file share screensaver. Advanced network. Internet look and feel appearance. Karja actions. Config emerald theme mate tweak. Main menu. Pop-up notification QT4 config screensaver. Windows. XFCE look and other menu. Dashboard Slint. Login photo. SIM input method setter. Dashboard Slint. Other personal menu. About me. Assisted tech file management. Personal hardware menu. Preferences menu. Hardware menu.
This distribution is so organised, it's amazing.
Preferences administration menu. Control center. Places menu.
And that's
Phone
it.
Phone desktop. Icon.
That is just about it for our Slint thing. Let's see what version of Orca we're using. We are using
Screen reader version 41.1. Entering learn mode.
41.
Press any key to hear its function. To left control.
We're using 41.1, which is not too old. The latest version is actually 41.2, but hey up. Being one version behind is not too bad.
Escape. Exiting learn mode.
I've actually installed version 41.2 in a Debian virtual machine, even though I'm on Debian stable. But hey, the latest version of Orca that's included in Debian stable is full of bugs, so hasn't been tested extensively. So that's why it's recommended you upgrade Orca in Debian. Okay, so that's it for Slackware, aka Slint.
Computer icon.
Let's see what we've got on the desktop.
Jordan's Doma dashboard Slint bin icon.
We've got a fair decent number of icons on our desktop. The icons that you actually are going to need. I mean, this was built using Slackware's source code, like from the ground up. Accessible Coconut wasn't. It was built with an Ubuntu Mate ISO and was modified, so any updates you do get for the distro will be coming from Ubuntu Mate, so that means you can just upgrade it to the latest interim release, which will probably break a lot of packages. It's basically Accessible Coconut is basically a modified version of Ubuntu Mate 20.04, so there's nothing really new. I mean, even if you get upgrades, it's not going to be for the Accessible Coconut system, it's going to be for the Ubuntu system. So you're not going to get the new apps that Nalin has put into the ISOs, meaning you'll have to reinstall the ISOs to get the latest version of Accessible Coconut, which is ludicrous in my opinion. You're better off with a distribution that actually works, like Slint, for instance, this one. And you've also got stuff like Ubuntu and Linux Mint and all the other distros I've covered in previous videos. In terms of usability, I think the installation, you'll have to have some Linux know-how because it can be tricky, but for general use, I think Slackware is a pretty fair bet. If you can get it working properly, that is. Slackware is not meant for general use as it is. It's meant for those people who really know what they're doing with Linux. And with projects like Slint in the works, it's what makes Slackware completely accessible right out of the box. And not only that, it's available from the official Slackware website too. So hey, you're not losing all there. And another thing that's really cool is even though Slackware 15 has just been released, there is a version being worked on that is based on Slackware 15, and I can't wait to see that because this is a pretty nice distribution. This version of Slint is currently based on Slackware 14.2, which was the previous stable version of Slackware, but hey, nothing wrong with that. That's what I can say. So I guess we'll be waiting another 6 years for another version of Slackware now. I'm going to go shut this down.
Applications, system tools, system shutdown. Alert. Shut down this system. Cancel push. Shutdown push. Running shutdown script /etc /rc.d/rc.0 init.
So now it's shutting down Slackware. We are using sysvinit.
VirtualBox C program files.
And here we are back in VirtualBox. We are using sysvinit. And just to clarify that I have fixed the problem that Yandex was causing,
Windows Security.
here's Windows Defender in all its glory.
Tamper protection toggle. Learn more link. Manage controlled folder access link. Add or remove it.
I had to reinstall it all.
VirtualBox C program. Submission details 124D0136.
And there's the submission details for the file, aka the virus, known as Yandex. I don't know why Google hasn't removed it from the Play Store, but then again, the Android app only installs what it needs to install. But to keep me and my fellow community members safe, I recommend you do not download any Yandex applications at all, regardless of the platform you're using. Well, then again, the Mac version hasn't installed any silly stuff on my end, so I'm alright with that. So what I'm going to do before I upload this fully is actually make sure that my computer's completely clean, and then you guys can enjoy this Slackware installation video. So I hope that you enjoy watching this video as much as I've enjoyed making it. And in the comments below, I want to know what you guys think of Slackware for an accessibility standpoint. And of course, this distribution of Slackware is accessible right out of the box, so it doesn't really count. But still, what do you think of Slackware in general? This is Jordan, signing off.
Stop recording.
Saying have a good day, everyone.